Hello Valiants, this is Nandi. Welcome back to Vibrant Authentic Living. Today we're looking at the Pak Choi. In Jamaica we call it Pak Choi, and in other places they call it Bok Choy or Chinese cabbage. We call it Pak Choi. Now, it's very popular here in Jamaica, usually sold with the callaloo and usually steamed by itself or steamed with the callaloo as a morning breakfast meal, served with, you know, boiled yams or bananas or dumplings or whatever in the mornings. So the Pak Choi is leafy greens, yes, full of chlorophyll, full of iron, full of calcium, as most greens are. It is a part of the cruciferous family, but there are just some slight differences. It does not grow, it does not produce that bulbous base like most of the other, particularly the North American cruciferous plants, such as the cauliflower and the broccoli and so on. It has the leaves, each leaf coming out from the base. It's very beautiful with the green and white, you know, it has a nice look to it. And so let's look at some of the benefits that you will get from the Pak Choi. So we have lots of fiber to begin with, right? If you're going to have the Pak Choi as is, eat it, cut it up raw in your salads, or if you're going to blend it in your smoothie and not strain the smoothie, then you know you will get that fiber. When I'm making my juices, I tend to prefer to strain them, so I blend them as much as I can, and then I strain it. I don't like to drink fiber. I prefer to eat. If I'm going to have something for fiber, I prefer to be eating that fiber, and preferably in my fruits. So whenever I reach for the greens, it's basically to add to my juices, and I do tend to strain away the fiber. I just prefer to drink my juices like that. But the Pak Choi will produce a lovely green drink, and what I do is I add my green juices to my fruit juices, and I find that they complement each other well. In addition to the fiber, the Pak Choi is full of antioxidant nutrients such as vitamin A and vitamin C, vitamin E, beta carotene, folate, selenium, vitamin B6. Selenium is one of those nutrients that has been found to help slow the process of slow the rate of certain types of cancer. Now, greens in general tend to have anti-cancer properties. They aid in the prevention and treatment of cancer because they have tons of antioxidant nutrients which help to neutralize the effect of free radicals in the body, and these free radicals can cause damage that eventually might lead to cancer. So whenever you have foods rich in antioxidants such as flavonoids, polyphenols, they will help to clean out the body and to prevent the formation of tumors. The Pak Choi is also anti-inflammatory, which means its action in the body is soothing, and it helps to quell inflammation. And certain symptoms of inflammation would be pain, swelling, redness, itchiness, tension, stiffness, fever. Anything along those lines usually indicate some kind of inflammatory reaction to something, whether allergen or more commonly something that we have eaten that our body is trying to get rid of. So the greens and the fruits, they help to clean the system of the junk that we sometimes put into it, and the cleaner the body is, the less it will have inflammatory responses to things that trigger such responses. Pak Choi has been found to lower the risk of diabetes and to lower the risk of heart disease and certain kinds of cancer. Now usually your greens, once you see this dark green in the leaves, look at how beautifully dark green, you know it's full of chlorophyll for one, and usually the leafy greens are going to be rich in iron and calcium. You know the iron will help to stave off anemia, and calcium is very beneficial in helping to build your bones, the structure of the bones, to maintain the integrity of the bones as it renews itself, because remember, bone is a living tissue that regenerates itself, and it needs calcium in addition to other minerals to maintain the integrity of its structure and to prevent certain conditions such as osteoporosis. So the greens are very helpful. Now I prefer, when I'm reaching for my greens, I prefer to have them raw as is, or rather cooked by nature, as opposed to cooking them, because what happens, the greens are very easy to become denatured and they respond very negatively to heat. And so what you will find when you start to steam your kalaloo or your pak choy, they will release the water, they will release their nutrients in the water, and many of the water soluble nutrients too will be destroyed from the heat, and the fiber will become denatured. You will still get some amount of fiber, but certainly not as much as if you were to cut up the greens and serve them in a salad, for example, or if you were to blend them in your smoothie, particularly if you are one of those persons who drink your smoothie without straining, right? So it is really much better to have your greens in their natural form. If you decide that you are going to steam your pak choy, remember, it does not need much cooking at all, and you want to stop the cooking process while it is still crisp. You know, it still has some crispness to it and still has that bright green color. The more you cook it, the more it will become dull and pretty much denatured and for the most part useless. Alright, so that's it for the pak choy. It's a very common leafy green in Jamaica. Most persons have it steamed, but I would definitely recommend that you start adding this to your juices if you are going to be including veggies. As I keep saying, I prefer my fruits, but every once in a while I'll reach for my leafy greens. Alright, so if you want to become a supporter of the channel, please follow the link in the description below. Go on over to Patreon and become a supporter. And if you still have not subscribed, please do so now, and don't forget to share the videos so that other persons may come on board and start making healthier choices. Until next time, this is Nandi, and I'll see you in the next video.